Virak over there? Huh.
Ah. Seeing you at this time must mean you've already saved up a lot of credit coupons. Impressed.
So, now can you tell us about the hidden rules you...
If that's what you want to know.
Huh? What do you mean it's...
Leonid and those other pesky broke urchins have all gone to work in the production zone.
We get it, just...
So, you know those pipes that make strange sounds? Don't ever, ever go near them at night.
Something even more...
A group of cannibals.
Cannibals? In the fortress?
Every month, they meet a few times in the dead of night. Rumor has it they might be connected, but what's even scarier is that they have a special proclivity. Since they have no way to dispose of the leftover remains, they have...
Paimon might already know what you mean by other forms. So that...
You two look pretty skeptical. I've got things to do too.
Traveler, can we just trust him on this one? Oh, Paimon doesn't want her blood and flesh... Oh, so that's how you see the situation. Huh. You know, Paimon... When will all this... Vidak isn't here. But the guys who went to work in...
Just stay away. Always at your service.
What? What are you saying? You shouldn't go around saying stuff like that.
What are you talking about?
Their attitude sure is suspicious. Like they're trying to avoid us. But if they're being so obvious about acting weirdly, do you think they might... Oh, this is all getting way too creepy for Paimon. So you mean we still need to investigate some more?
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Hello, Fielding.
What do you want? Criminals like you ought to be working right now. Catch.
We just want to ask you have you ever discovered anything odd during your night?
Why are you asking about something like that? Whatever happened?
Well... right! We've heard it happens a few times every month. Paimon has...
Really? I see. And now that you mention it, I recall my colleagues talking about something like that before. They say that strange things...
So, what happens at night on...
They just conduct regular cleaning of the fortress's drainage facilities. There are 3 pipe cleaning days per month, and it just so happens that today is one of the scheduled days. You can try to confirm the sounds tonight if you want, and if the...
Oh, okay. Then we'll keep both ears...
And if that's all, then I'll be leaving now. I advise you not to try anything funny, though.
Don't worry, we don't want any time added to our sentence. Oh, he left. So what do you think about the pipe cleaning? Right, both are a possibility. But Fielding did... Paimon knew you would say that. Alright, sounds like we'll be up on... tired. But we can't sleep yet. They'll be cleaning the pipes tonight, so it's the perfect chance for... Whatever. Just be sure to wake Paimon if she don't... Huh? Traveler? Did you fall asleep already? Traveler, come on, wake up! Oh, it looks like you were just peacefully sleeping to Paimon. Well, what did you see this time? Really? So we're finally starting to figure out what actually happened. But, what? Okay, well, it's about time for us to get moving. Just be... Shh! Careful! We'll get in trouble if the guards catch us. Hey, not this way. We need to get to that pipe, remember?
Okay, faster.
Uh-oh! They spotted us! Shh! Careful! We'll get in trouble if the guards catch us. This should be the place.
What? I know you. You were the ones we saw.
Huh. You've got guts showing up here.
You'd better leave now. Ain't nobody coming here to save you.
What'd you say? Yeah, so what if they were? If you push us, we can make those rumors a reality.
Hey, what's the point of all those rumors anyway?
I don't have to tell you anything. If you turn around, go back to the dormitories, and act like you never...
Yeah, scram. Nothing worth seeing here. Huh? What did you say?
Isn't that exactly what Boss said when he left?
Hey, do you know our boss? Whoa. We had no idea our boss was such a big... So, did he have you come...
Oh, so your child's crew here? Seems like he had no problem fitting in.
We're the only ones who heard him say those words when he left that night. So, unless he somehow told you the...
Wow, those dreams you're sure coming here.
We gave him the business for a while and would always give him a hard time when he first came to the fortress of Maripede. But here in the fortress, the strong, well, he was working the longest hours and racking. You could always see how amazing he was, even when he was teaching us a lesson. So eventually, we all decided to follow.
But one day, he suddenly told us that he had to find a way to escape this place, no matter the cost. And as his crew, if the boss wants... So, we got to work and used the hidden rules that were here to make... We just wanted to give him a better chance of escaping on a...
Oh, thanks to your rumor, nobody would want to come anywhere near here, prisoner or... But has a child already escaped? Why are you...
Because as far as we know, the pipe he went into isn't actually an exit. It should be. It leads to an abandoned factory area, and even if there were a way to escape from there into the sea, we're still way too deep. No one could, but boss still insisted on going in. It's like he was... So we told him that we'd pretend as if he never existed while he was gone. And that if he wanted to come back, he should wait for nighttime on a pipe cleaning day.
So you come and wait here through the night a few times a month just because of that promise?
Yeah, but it's been so long now. We already know in our hearts.
It's...
Nothing could ever defeat Boss or slow him down. It's one thing we know for sure.
Okay. Paimon was just brainstorming possibilities.
All right. Keep quiet and follow us.
The way up from here has been sealed off. Its boss left by going down from here. It, wasn't full of Later, we came back, hoping to have a look. That's when we found... It's impossible to navigate unless...
Do you think Child got trapped by the water?
Not likely. We all know that Boss was an incredible swimmer.
Really? Then have him come investigate. Pronto.
It's getting late. We should leave before the guards come this way.
Yeah, we learned a lot about what happened to Child. We finally... When you said you knew a diver, you were talking about Fremine, right? Why is Child like this? Fortunately, though, it seems like now that we can finally relax... What? It's morning already? Paimon still needs more sleep. Huh? Wait, look over there! Isn't that... It's one of Linny's cards! Let Paimon see what's written... Maybe you haven't heard, but today is the monthly free day. Everyone, it's been a while since we last talked. Have you been making any progress lately? Ooh, today's our lucky day. We have the day off. From the sound of it, Linny's been making progress with it. We still have some time before we meet up. Look, there are some people talking over there.
If you ask me, those pompous parasites on the surface act like they're all a bunch of aristocrats.
Hey, speak for yourself, mate!
Oh, you think you're special or something? If you're here, then you're just a convict like the rest of us. I've heard that even if you're released after serving your sentence...
I don't buy that.
Hey, how cool would it be if the whole world was destroyed by a giant flood and everyone had to...
What kind of filthy bilgewater are you spewing? Listen, things ain't so great on the surface, but who says that you have to leave? I've heard that you can still stay. Who wants to live in the ruddy over...
And what makes you think they'd want to hire someone like you? That's one of the great mysteries.
Whoa, Sounds like they're really unhappy about. Speaking of which, Paimon never heard anyone use the words overworld or underworld when we were living up there. Is it only something the inmates down here say? That's true. There's a group of people over there.
So I said, that's not a faucet. Hey,
Oh, sorry for eavesdropping. Sounds like you were talking.
What's the matter? They're just looking to join in on our fun.
hey, don't pretend like it's okay for them to just interrupt us like that. Fine.
You hear that, Quisto?
Your expressions tell me you're looking to hear some juicy info, am I right?
Really? Are we
You're kidding. How often does anyone get a personal tour led by His Grace himself? Practically everyone was talking about it. Word.
A little mistake, huh? I like the way you put it. You see, people with a good attitude can...
Your group?
I'm Quisto, and this is Lavaroon. People usually call us the Bombshell Bros, but don't worry. We're not playing with bombs or...
So, you two really
No. You don't get it. Knowing intelligence will make things better for you here. For example, knowing who's working with who has the latest rumors, who's not getting along. Whoa, all this info's worth something, you know?
I don't mind him. Quisto's always this way. Just play nice and save the welfare meals. Talk about the welfare meals.
Right. That meal we had yesterday was super delicious. Paimon...
Is that so? To tell you the truth, I've been helping out with making those welfare meals.
Oh, so you're the one who made those delicious steaks.
You are correct. I am a true professional. Since you like my cooking, I guess that means we share similar tastes. Listen, kids. The power structure within the fortress is quite complicated. The Overworlders couldn't care less about us down here. You've already met the one person here you should never cross, the Duke, Risley. He knows more than you think. And if he doesn't care about something...
Those who have the Duke's attention get all kinds of special perks.
I know who you mean. It's that Jurier character, right? I don't think there's anything useful about him at all. Why does he visit the infirmary practically every day?
But did you know that Churia was a talented researcher from the front?
I don't care if he was a researcher that could turn dirt into Mora. Once you're in the Fortress of Meripede, you're just another... Speaking of which, the last time I saw him, he was passing by in the corridor with Lorvine. I also heard they started arguing in the library and got into a fight, right?
You mean he hit a woman? Wow.
But that Lorvine's also quite the odd one, you know? She's always gabbing away, got into a fight with a man, and she also got sent to the infirmary.
Wait a second. You don't...
Do you think could it be that they're secret?
After all, I do remember seeing Lorvine beat Juria to a pulp that one.
Brace yourselves.
over there? Yeah, you. Say, do you like playing card games? You know, like Genius Invocation TCG?
You TCG players are like mint in the wild.
Hey, come on now. What's wrong with finding fellow all right.
But why would you be looking for people to play Genius Invocation in a place like...
Whether you're throwing down cards or throwing... There are lots of card players here in the fortress. When I saw you, I immediately thought, hey, even outsiders from other... Sure.
Great! Since you've been here longer than us, you need to flex your seniority a little bit, right? Maybe you could start by...
I thought you would have already heard everything by now. All right, then. Did you have anything specific in mind? Or do you want me to just pick a topic?
Why don't you pick? We'll let you know if we've heard it already.
All right. Have you heard any strange rumors since you've arrived? Then, did you know that there are some people who are always gossiping over in the corner? Yeah, so you've already met those two. They're quite a pair. They always keep an eye out. I heard that they used to be a chef and a bartender before they were sent down here. You know how bartenders are, always chatting with customers. And chefs love...
Good to know. Do you have a...
let me think. Oh, did you know that the Duke was also a...
Huh?
That's right. The Duke was an inmate just like you and me. Seems he was exiled here for committing... To go from an ordinary inmate to becoming the manager of the whole place? I'm not gonna... A forbidden zone? Sounds like something that...
It's just a rumor we've been hearing, but no worries if you've never heard of it.
Anything else? Not that I can think of, but I'll be sure to tell you anything...
Okay, we've talked to just about everyone, and it's about time for us to go meet Linny. According to the card he left us, we...
Wouldn't gliding be faster? Wouldn't gliding be faster? on, traveler. Let's go. The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered. What a find! I wonder how many bottles this will be worth. Let's play! Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.
Huh? look in your eyes. You found something?
Hey, this is no time to be modest. Just tell him we found a boatload of information.
Oh, as expected of the legendary duo, you have my full and undivided attention. Huh. I'd have never guessed that myself. The rumors swirling about this place are unreliable after all, and Master Child probably went missing because he found a... He is a harbinger after all. I suppose he's much more resourceful than I initially gave him credit for. Unfortunately, this isn't enough for our final report to Father. We need to find out... Father told me that even though Master Child said he was just coming to Fontaine for a vacation, he actually...
His escape route is already flooded, so we'll have to task someone with professional diving skills to chase after him.
Well, when you put it that way, it's obvious that only...
Bingo! Is he around?
He's working today. Coming here as a group would have attracted too much attention. I'll talk to him about it later. It's the least I can do. We're all in this together, so it's only fair for us to fulfill our end. Honestly, I'm far more impressed by you guys managing to collect all this information right under...
Collecting information?
Now, let me think. To find out more information, Fremine will... And if he's to do that, he'll have to set out on the next pipe cleaning day at the earliest. That's 6 days from now.
You can even estimate how long it'll take for him to get back?
We've been working together for a long time. We know each other's... Traveler, what say you to meeting here 9 days from now? We'll be able to... Oh, and there's just one last thing we'd like your help with. Though we can just sit back and wait for Fremine's report on Master Child's... Fremine's no master of disguise. Lynette's still working on getting intel from the other areas.
What do you want us to do? Will it be...
Well, I won't call it easy per se, but listen carefully. You'll need to find an excuse to get into the infirmary and investigate the... You've mentioned several sketchy-looking people always meeting at the infirmary earlier. So it probably has something to do with the secret. Investigate the internal structure of the infirmary and any active dealings, but also there's no need to take risks. Don't forget. My apologies, I just started...
But that's not a bad thing, right? All right, then we'll head out...
Let's go our separate ways for now then. Don't forget, we...
Hey, stay here for now. Paimon will take a peek. There seem to be several people inside.
It's not impossible.
It's a bit hard to understand them from here, so... Someone! Please help! He's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
Oh my! What's wrong, little one? There's no need to panic. Take a deep breath before you begin.
The traveler started complaining of a stomachache, and then nausea, and then collapsed onto the ground. Freezing limbs, twitching fingers, and pale complexion? Could it be poison?
Let me take a look. Please lie down over here. Don't worry, I'll get you to the bed safely. Here, hold on to my shoulder and walk slowly.
You can do it, Traveler!
Don't apologize. You're sick after all. Now, please relax. I'm just going to do a preliminary checkup on you. My checkup has confirmed that he's not in any mortal danger.
Eh? Oh, that's good.
I'll continue my diagnosis of the patient now. Please, relax. Don't sense serious damage to your organs either. Just... And here? Huh? But based on my initial checkup, there shouldn't be a problem here. How should... What about here? Does this hurt? Oh. I understand. So that's what it is. I think you just ate something that disagreed with you. That's all. No.
So that's what it is. Thank goodness it's...
And there have been other inmates complaining about the food recently. I'll inform our head chef, Mr. Wolsey, of this problem. Congratulations! The health risk is incredibly low, so you should recover within a couple days. Miss Levine, I'll have to trouble you to help me look after this.
Very well.
And she hopped away.
Hello. So how are you feeling now?
His stomach aches really bad. He was...
If Miss Sijuin says it's not a serious problem, then there's no need to worry. She's the...
But it also looks like...
Well...
What do you mean, that's true? That's really misrepresenting the situation. Of course I can't speak. Though they may have committed crimes and gotten locked up here as a result, they still know a thing or two about medicine, and they helped Miss Sijuin take...
Yeah, you're right. But did you have to lecture me about it in front of another patient? Aren't you...
that's correct. Sorry.
Are you two...
We've been sick a while. I come back every once in a while for checkups, and to pick up the medicines Miss... You could say she fancies herself as Miss Sijuin's capable help.
Please watch your mouth, Mr. Jurier. Don't forget that you are the
Hey, don't start arguing now! Please, keep it civil at least! Hey! There's no need to fight! Everyone will be released someday, so there's no need to argue over silly things like this!
But...
Release. It's way too early for us to even think about that. And who the heck knows if we'd even be able to continue our previous lives?
Please allow me to end this boring and useless conversation.
And same to you, Miss Lorvine. Anyway, that was more than enough rest for me, so I'm going to get out of this excessively noisy place. See you later, everyone.
He just slowly walked off like that?
I'm sorry you had to see all of that. I'm Lorvine, and that's... Well, his name...
You really...
I mean, can you blame me? Who would like someone who's as... I'll accompany you two for a while. Miss Seishween should be back soon, and I'm sure you'll feel better. No, it's nothing.
I'm back! Did you rest like you promised?
Thank you for getting our medicine, Miss Seishween.
Did you all cooperate with your bed rest? I trust that nobody got up to walk around. Good. Here. Miss Lorvine, I left in a bit of a hurry just now. Do you still remember... Yellow, huh? I understand.
All right, then I'll also be on my way now. I hope you feel better soon, too.
I'm going to fill out your medical record now. You're widely known as the Traveler, right? I just want to double-check.
Those two made quite the commotion just now, so why don't we let the Traveler rest? Paimon can answer the questions instead.
So his primary symptoms are abdominal pain. Alright then.
Is there anything we should know besides...
No, his base constitution is quite good, so I'm sure he'll recover quite quickly after taking the medicine. Please, make sure to stick to bland or less stimulating foods, and don't stay...
Got it! Paimon will hold the Traveler to that for sure. Oh, you're going to take a nap already? We've been to lots of places together. He may look a bit under the weather now, but he's actually super strong.
So you're the best of... Ah, you're awake.
How do you feel? You slept for a really long...
Well, now you can go back without a worry in the world.
Thank you, Miss Seishween! are something. To be able to fall asleep like that and even sleep talk the entire time, you scared Paimon half to death! No, but you kept mumbling things along the lines of, Pyron, don't take my grilled fish, and put down the Adeptus Temptation now! Paimon talked with Sijwin the entire time you were asleep. She seems like she's just a sincere nurse, and Paimon didn't notice anything unusual in the room. Are you sure we're not going off track with the infirmary? Whoa! You really are super thorough! All those tiny little suspicious things that Paimon didn't even... Today's the day! Let's go meet up with Vinny! Oh!
Hmm? Did you two run into any trouble over the past few days?
No, we just worked our shifts according to the schedule.
That's good. That means you didn't raise any We've taken a look at the slip you've sent. Fremine successfully left the grounds via the pipes 2 days ago, and as of...
Wait, why is she
You already went above and beyond when you scoped out the infirmary. To infiltrating a guarded stronghold is a different kind of job from a one-off investigation. We want to avoid using the same faces over and over. Lynette also felt like you have already taken the first step for us, so she should be the...
So that's what Lynette thinks. Oh, Paimon hopes everything's going well for her.
Perhaps that's true. You're both very good people, and we've come to appreciate that more than anyone else. You've mentioned before that you've had some run-ins with the Fatui. I can understand that feeling, so I assume you're just...
Well, everyone could use some more friends. We'll be counting on you to help us in the...
Since I see you as friends, then it's even more important for us to protect you from any peril. Glad to hear it. Then, let's go check on Lynette before Fremine returns. If everything went well, then she should be wrapping up her investigation right about now.
Is now really a good time to go over?
According to my observations, Sijwin always spends around half an hour away from the infirmary right before lunch. Lynette knows this as well. Also, I'm her brother, remember? It's only...
Okay, then let's head over...
Lynette should be here right now. Huh. Strange. Lynette?
As expected, Sijwin isn't here, but why isn't Lynette here?
No, Lynette rarely deviates from the plan.
We agreed that if she were to make changes on the fly, she'd find. Unless.
Let's see if there are any clues around here. We can look while we.
Okay. None of the beds have any signs of having been slept in. Except that one over there.
That's the one Lynette must have used, right? You said she was pretending to be sick.
Mm-hmm. She would have said her migraine was having a particularly bad flare-up. Generally speaking, the head nurse would then ask her to lie down and rest, which means either the head nurse didn't return the entire time from when Lynette laid down up until she left the bed, or the nurse...
There are some books here and a few files. Advanced nursing, how to raise the spirit of your patients, a quick guide to the psychology of emotions, and these sure are some interesting books. Who knew Sijuin would be interested in these? She even has books on understanding people's motivations and feelings. Is it because she's a Melusine? Or does she have a need to understand her patient's emotional state?
Seems quite normal to me. These are skills that would come in handy for a nurse from time to time.
This is it! We saw it before!
Wait, this thing? It doesn't look like... The space behind it is empty. From its size, I don't think it's an... Could Lynette have tried to get inside? But if that's the case, she would have contacted me for sure. Let's look around here for some more clues. Don't pay...
Hey, you guys, there's a slip of paper over here!
A slip of paper?
It's right over here, and there's a bunch written on it too. It reads, out of respect for your usual practices, I'll use a piece of paper or card as the medium to...
This is...
Is that all? The back!
Show me! Now!
That look on your face! Would you care to guess where Miss Lynette of the No! Could she have...
Writhsley. Did he deliberately leave the
Wait, you mean he was aware of our goals from the very beginning? But why? We didn't run into any trouble last time, and he also never reached out to us since!
Yes, that is a crucial question. Writhsley. He doesn't do anything without a clear goal or reason. So this means he had no concerns about your activities from the very beginning. You're not from the same camp as us. You were sent down here by Nervulet, so you have no conflict of interest with Writhsley. We're a completely different story, though. I'd like to know that, too. Why did he only go after her? Don't panic, just think everything over. I have to Wait, you're right. The fact that Fremine was able to leave the grounds...
But what does he gain by letting Fremine leave like that?
So he's challenging me and trying to provoke... We never should have sent out Fremine. We had to go through all that trouble to find an opening to sneak him around the guards and into the pipe. If Writhsley let him leave on purpose, then he's probably in a...
Lenny's getting more and more panicked. We have to calm him down. Don't be like this, Lenny. Fremine wouldn't have left if we hadn't told you about Child.
No. I'm the leader of this operation, and I'm...
Hey, don't be reckless! Traveler, please, talk...
I simply cannot allow Lynette to be abducted. I have to go. I'll find a way to...
He's rushed out the door! After him!
feel like we still have some room to make changes on these details.
It's not impossible, but it'll require extensive testing.
Is that so?
Is someone?
Pack everything up. Whoever's outside is eavesdropping. They'll probably...
Someone! Please help! He's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
These two. As expected, they've already found... What a delightful turn of events. I like smart people, but I also like playing dumb. Oh my! What's wrong, little one? They're... Being able to read human expressions is quite...
Wait! It's no use. We have to catch up to him. He's already out of sight. How is he so fast? Let's go head him off at Risley's office.
Come out and face me!
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow even a couple rules from the fortress's indoor
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided to invite her over for a cup of tea. I do have some tea.
Stop joking around! Where did you take my siblings?
I have also heard that your performances are quite the spectacle. Miss Lynette would sometimes enter a... Maybe she'll appear behind you right now if you were to...
Is he trying to trick me into turning my head? No, he's probably not looking to attack me right now. All of the hostages are in his hands. You knew we were investigating the infirmary from the start. So you deliberately aroused the traveler's suspicions and baited us into continuing our investigation. As for Fremine, no. You probably didn't even interfere with Child's escape.
There was no need to do so. The fortress of Meripede is a pretty pleasant place. Most people enjoy their lives here. The only ones who act differently are those with personal agendas.
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate. Fremine has also fallen into your hands, right?
One correction. Lynette is in my hands, right?
He's not.
Lenny!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this once. Thank you so much for cooperating. Eager and to the point, I see. Alas, only Miss Lynette is currently having a cup of the fortress's. Although, as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have returned to the fortress by now. But he is neither.
Wait. You locked him outside in the sea?
I closed the fortress's gate to the...
Fremine's a star diver, so he should...
No, we're still here, so we definitely try to find a way to come back for...
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. My intel tells me that Mr. Linney is a great magician, so... Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with the Lord of the Fortress of Meripede, regardless...
So, you've been keeping tabs...
Some of my folks just happened to hear a thing or two, that's all. I was willing to play dumb and turn a blind eye, so we had a pleasant few days playing games together here. Mr. Linney, the cards are stacked against you right now. Miss Lynette is in my hands, and Mr. Fremine is still slowly being pickled out. You need do but one thing to guarantee their safety. I would like you to contact your superior, and...
You want to see Father? But why should she bother...
Well, if she cares for the well-being of her dearest children, I've heard that the bonds between the members of the House of the Hearth are like the bonds...
Why did you think Father sent us to handle the Fortress of Meripede? This place is basically a no-man's land. It wouldn't be fitting for anyone...
Oh, I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here.
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father? No matter how much pressure you may put on me, I won't
You people really are difficult to get along with. All I'm asking for is a face-to-face conversation. Does she truly have no interest in... Mr. Linney, you have one last chance to invite...
Linny!
Instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my perspective for a second? I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had you given up on the fortress then and there, I'd have no reason to want to talk. Mr. Fremenet left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out my secrets right in front of me. No matter how you look at
I shouldn't ask Father to do anything
6.
Wait,
2. Time's up.
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please leave, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, listen to the Traveler. If you can't talk to Linny...
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? You're here helping him out, but that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote, but it still has its own set of laws. Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them correctly, and I'll... Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone...
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Meanwhile, the Duke believes that only idiots who don't... We often see Miss Sijween observing the prisoners at work near the production zone. It seems like she can perceive the general state of a person... Fonta's internal report suggests that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. But the product... The research notes said that the Melazine race perceives the world very differently from humans. As a result, the Melazines... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta... We often see Miss Sijween observing the prisoners at... I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before lunch. The research notes said that According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Meanwhile, the Duke believes that only idiots who don't Fonta's internal report suggests that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. But the product has to undergo a trial because even Fonta's own employees have a lot of The research notes said that the Melazine race perceives the world very differently from humans. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored. I've been told that the infirmary is always empty. The Fonta promoter has been struggling. The Fonta promoter has been struggling. The Fonta promoter has been struggling. Fonta's internal report suggests that the Fonta promoter has been struggling because according to Collins, the Pancration tournament only... The research notes said that the Melazine race perceives the world... I've been told that the infirmary is all... The Fonta promoter has been struggling... I've been told that the infirmary is all... According to Collins, the Pancration... The research notes said that the
So that's what's going on. The hidden rule of the production zone. People are not supposed to. At first, we thought this strange meat must have something to do with the people who. She often visits the production zone to observe the workers' health and makes, out of her sense of duty as the head nurse, as well as her genuine concern for the workers' health, Sigewin has only the best intentions with her. Unfortunately, Melusines as a race perceive the world different. The recipients of her lovingly prepared special. Are we on the right track?
Not bad. You've uncovered Sigewin's secret and even guessed her intentions. All right, now for my next. There are also some hidden rules in the Pancration Ring, including the one that you're not allowed to support both.
The Fanta promoter has been struggling. Fanta's internal report suggests that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fanta company. According to Collins, the Fanta promoter has been.
Paimon gets this rule too now. That hidden rule of the Pancration Ring is about how, people get scared when they see it because they've subconsciously begun. But really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet to be named a blood red drink. It's no wonder even Fanta's own. The company, facing backlash from its own staff, decided to try to trial the product and a smaller. They came to the fortress of Meropide and offered to sponsor the Pancration tournament so they could push their new product. The Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress, knew that only total idiots who didn't understand their true value would bother by. And so, only those who proved their stupidity by being dumb enough to.
I acknowledge the effort you've put into bringing the truth of this mystery to light. Although, based on your description, that Fanta promoter is a bit too careless with his words. I may just reconsider my All right, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of you'll pick.
Lenny, are you alright?
Oh, close one. I owe you.
It was nothing, Your Grace.
Sigewin?
Though this gun may look like a toy, it's actually fully functional. As a.
Sigewin. You.
Not at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress, and when Monsieur Nervulet asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of everyone here.
But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Linny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident here just like the rest?
But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulet told me to do. Everything I did. His Grace knows it too, right?
My dear Sigewin, whatever shall I do with you?
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating. So,
what are you talking about?
Take me if you want. Let the.
How touching.
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm down. I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss Sigewin, I leave.
You.
I believe I hear footsteps.
Some space, please.
Ah, Miss Cloran.
Renee.
What's going on? What is Cloran doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linney. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon.
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like...
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have consumed primordial seawater. Please, make some space. I'll need to give...
I'll talk to Clorand while you get Fremine to where he needs to be. Everything else can wait.
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way back.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few minutes later, Sigewinne may have been forced to shoot. How's the situation out there?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater... I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time...
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons. Never seems to work, though.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcome...
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case to Neuvillette. Want some tea?
Not particularly.
Fine, I'd like to get some tea. Want me to get you a cup too, since I've already made it?
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would...
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large amount of primordial seawater. Of course, it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Let's leave him... sorry. I am aware that the infirmary may not be your favorite...
Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial seawater after...
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator.
Where is she?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be waking up right around now. You might...
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be fine. They're all here.
Are you sure? You don't look all right.
My hands and feet are still a bit weak, but that's probably just the residual effects of the tranquilizer shot.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Oh, Traveler, Pipe? Fremine?
He'll be fine. But for now...
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
Yeah, I'll take him from this side. Lynette?
On it.
Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us?
The Duke and Clorand are gone.
They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit.
He's awake.
Linny... Lynette...
We're all here.
Uh...
The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meripede, Mr. Fremennik.
How do you feel? Don't push yourself if you're not feeling up to it.
Traveler... Paimon... the sea... There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay. We can
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there, but... Pipes... Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. It looks abandoned. Where could Master Child be? This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it. This is where the water starts. Master Child probably dived into the water. vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. I should be going in the right direction. There are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child—
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance.
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to save you.
Miss Clarande, you say?
You're still too weak for Monet. You can go out— Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande will stay here as a guest for another—
A guest? Then I can assume—
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to explain better than me.
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. What?
No, please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring myself to leave.
Understood. In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to—
Thank you.
Excuse me.
I take it Mr. Fremenet's condition?
Of course. I wouldn't have let—
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose—
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarande. How are you—
Mostly fine.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical—
All right. Thank you for looking out for me.
Well, want to explain yourself?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions?
Then Paimon will begin.
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goal—
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of— Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Of course, it's inevitable that the knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well let the
So you were hoping Linny's group would just do your work?
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told the Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled.
Are the rumors true? That you're also a
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates.
Oh, right! Paimon wanted to ask, who...
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come down to the fortress for some... As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving Fremine?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, that's not something you should be asking after. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions.
You make a compelling case.
Yeah, Paimon really...
Even if the truth may not be pleasant. Follow me.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Wriothesley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of play. Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything. What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little...
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking...
Well, I'd advise you
Huh. So there's a switch on the side.
Stand back.
Whoa. They all just went up one by one.
Go on, have a look. I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because normally I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking? Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater.
The concentration of primordial seawater? But we're already under—
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, yes.
But forget about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be. Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and the indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history: when the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing the criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the death. Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners, but as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls after many, many centuries. Few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just...
But now you know every part of that history.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third. Let's go somewhere else. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last—
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone!
Huh? Lorvine and
No need to panic, you two.
What? After you warned us not to tell us—
I'm skeptical as well. Are you—
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for—
How about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard— Good. Saves me a bit of time. Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the Fortress of Meripede?
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it.
Gotta admit,
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and
Your Grace!
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's...
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be, according to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, he called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to...
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology, so the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath...
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Seems like you're good. Come on. I'll leave you here for now.
Oh!
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great. I look forward...
Welcome back. Do you...
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention, while I was sedated, I could still barely hear 2 people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water.
Must have been Risley and Sijui.
Yeah, I heard 1 male voice and 1 female, so...
I really can't...
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn...
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijui is also busy with something or other, so let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea.
Woo!
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, what's more, the Fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while, if I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super smart!
Thanks so much. Then finally, if Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that, that can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what...
The sea will engulf every...
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to... If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she...
Or perhaps he didn't know, and just wanted to bring Father over to his side? Which...
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our Father. No matter what, we're on your side. The two of you have already aided us far too much. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to... Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together,
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Lenny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
Aww, the sound of that... Paimon's hungry.
Oh,
Alright, then we'll catch you... Pick up ours as well.
Traveler and Paimon, over here.
Are you here for dinner too?
And I'm taking the opportunity to
Huh. You're right.
What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Me too! Don't forget Paimon!
No problem.
So delicious. Is this how it feels to be freeloaders?
Wait, it's feeling full yet? How's the food?
Delicious!
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now?
Sijuin, Do you do this to help your patients or to better understand?
A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good.
You're really good at taking care of people. Even though...
Really? You reminded...
Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that...
Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried. Thankfully, Glorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Glorand left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger.
You were all super considerate.
It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been... Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here. With all the Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very...
So much has happened. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too? Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Out of my way! Get out of my way!
What happened? Why is everyone running?
No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's... What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye!
Hey, what? What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Lavaroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone. Lafaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully complete.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey!
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible. Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards and outwards. If you're already...
They're here.
Just like I said.
We have it!
You're just in time. But be ready to run. Three, two, one.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Neuvillette? Why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina, and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her. Will do. You have my...
and Palais Mermonia people over there. The knave is...
Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Nervalet though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests.
Of course, of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am...
I've already prepared seats for you. Come.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to... See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on... I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. Coming from you...
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier, as...
well, in any case, there's...
Oh, and...
Because...
And where did he go after
Well...
The fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have... Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the...
Hold on.
I suppose this is also a sign.
Huh? I don't...
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed. But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
He already has tons of tea in his office.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness.
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this...
That was obvious. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to.
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui.
I must say, Miss Farina. As the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what—
What are you trying to—
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. Yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few— The prophecies hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their— But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have—
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures!
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be— Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon, Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the truth.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies— Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential?
An emergency.
Oh, that look in your eyes.
The emergency response.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly... Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nouvillette is not at the tea party with us today.
Yeah, yes.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina... Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please... Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. You too, but...
Thank you. Paimon will... Oh, Paimon...
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day?
Very well. We'll end...
Mind seeing me off, Traveler. We could use the opportunity to discuss Child.
Paimon's coming too!
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important. That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal set. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against...
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate. By the way, and you can just you are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to...
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meripede.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of... Forget it. He did give us an upper. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any...
No need. I need to meet with Farina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me?
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is... It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydrognosis is not... In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god.
Who are you? And what are...
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is... I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct...
Yes, Father.
My dear children...
News from the Fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed...
Probably the handiwork of...
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an set up a meeting for me. I would like... Oh, and I have an...
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the Fortress of Meripede will be a front. You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you. It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts, and of course, that is all just how It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize, don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to... Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must...
Neuvillette?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. Thank you for protecting Farina. To put it simply, I used my power to force back the Primordial Sea and reseal the sluice gate. So as expected, the Knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just... You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about...
If by the phrase, "you guys," you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of... I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all...
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Farina? My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. There's still something...
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that's...
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragons.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their... In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns there. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend...
Oh, so even...
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more...
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit? We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Now guess, what...
Well, look who it is.
Traveler, Paimon.
Looks like you're recovering nicely from an A.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to everyone's support. Oh, right.
Whoa, how did she react?
She told me that it was nothing. It was as if saving a life wasn't a big deal.
She didn't want to stress you out, that's all. She's right, and it's best not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but check this out. We went...
You meant father? Did you...
She said a few things that were, a bit hard to understand.
Her attitude towards you is even better than what we... You should believe her. She has her own way of doing things, and she'll do everything in her power to help those she considers...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Paimon just remembered that she thought Linny was a bit too proud as well. She said that you should learn how to rely on others.
That does...
Hey!
Are you going to stay?
Looks like it.
Excellent.
For real? Then Paimon...
Another implies that you were already served some delicious cake while you were up. Well, next time, you're going to have tea and snack.
Traveler, Paimon, you're back. Are you still doing all right? Did either of you get hurt?
We're fine, but what about you guys?
A few people sustained superficial injuries, but that's about the extent of the damage. Of course, we must...
How did Nervalet know that?
Well, Miss sure Nervalet has strong resonance with the hydro element. When the water level rises, I ran into the bombshell bros while bandaging the injuries of the wounded. They were mumbling the whole time about how you just ran down without a word. If you're not too pressed for time, Please stay with us just let me know if you get a craving for any particular dish, so I can have Mr. Walsey get. I'd like to take the opportunity to spend some more time observing your facial muscles as well. Your happy smiles are quite contagious, you know.
You guys are back?
You guys didn't get caught and thrown back down here, right?
And here I thought you'd managed to escape from jail during all the commotion. I'd held...
All right, there's no need to get caught up in the details.
Hey, it wasn't just me. Weren't you super...
I was also transferred to work in the kitchen a few days ago. I can still hear Quisto mumbling to the carrots. Whenever he'd say that, I'd tell him I'm sure they're fine. Wherever they are, they're kicking back with drinks and...
Hey, there's nothing wrong with worrying about your prison pals. Is there?
These two. They sure are a lot warmer and friendlier than when Paimon first met them.
Oh, well, if you say so. I'll be...
Courier?
Yeah, I was
That's no excuse for... Huh?
Courier, Lurvine, we're back!
Hello there. It's been quite the mess here recently.
And you? Are you still taking the secret passageway from the infirmary to work on the ship?
Yep. That is still top secret, though.
It can be a bit annoying when there are lots of people in the infirmary, but I still prefer taking that route.
I mean, the infirmary does make it easier for you to slack off.
Oh, yeah? Then what?
You two really are just using your jobs as a cover for...
Not at all!
Do my eyes deceive me, or did I just see two inmates come back after making it to the surface? Some strange wind.
We wanted to see how the fortress is doing.
We're fine, for the most part. Neuvillette came down and...
If that's the case, why don't you just ask him to stay here?
Oh, yeah, what a brilliant plan. Let's go convince the Udex himself to exchange the Courts of Fontaine for... He came here in a hurry and left without even stopping for a cup of tea. He did remember to take Miss Sigewinne's gift with him, though.
He sure sounds...
Miss Cloran has left as well. She also took her gift from Miss Sigewinne.
Were the gifts milkshakes?
Neuvillette got the milkshake. Cloran received lipstick. Well, it's Neuvillette's own fault for making Sigewinne worried about his health by working so much. But besides that, our head nurse... Oh, and I have some...
Are these from...
Nope, they're from yours truly. You've already wrapped up your work at the fortress, so you can return to the surface at any time. You haven't yet served your full prison term,
For real? Then we could stay here for a really long time?
You may access the cafeteria for... Just remember to come complete your paperwork once it's time for your release.
again. We're no longer prisoners, though, so it really doesn't feel the same. Sure feels that way. But the truth is, we never did... Huh? How did you know? Hey, that's not true! It's like, we've now gone to so many places together and become friends with so many people. There are so many bad things in the world, and we're just two people, but we've still been solving problems no matter where... You're counting Paimon today? Aren't you the only adventurer here? Then let's ask Catherine to give Paimon an adventurer handbook as well! Paimon... just our thoughts making Paimon... The last time we fell asleep here, we woke up to a whole mess outside ourselves. The primordial seawater nearly... We should be safe now, right? Alright then, good night to you, traveler!